So today's lesson is about the verbs. The time has come to start with the verbs, okay? First of all, let's learn some new and old verbs. For example, we have already seen to walk. Camminare. Camminare. Perfect. To jump, we already know it. Saltare. Saltare. Perfect. This is new. To do exercise. Fare esercizio. Fare esercizio. Perfect. To swim. Nuotare. Nuotare. Perfect. To dance. Ballare. Ballare. Perfect. To play. Giocare. Giocare. Awesome. To sweat. Sudare. Sudare. Perfect. Very good. Then, andare in bicicletta. That's to ride a bike. Andare in bicicletta. And that literally means to go on a bike. Okay? And bicicletta is bike, but you can also say bici. It's shorter and it works. Bici. Andare in bici. It's okay. Perfect. To run, correre. We have already seen this verb in lesson 7. Correre. Perfect. And to open, aprire. Aprire. Perfect. Very good. Then how to say I like or I don't like? I like in Italian is mi piace. For example, mi piace il latte. I like milk. Mi piace. I don't like is non mi piace. Non mi piace. So what you have to do is just to add non before mi piace. Okay? Perfect. Very good. For example, I don't like something very much, or I like something very much. I like milk very much. Mi piace molto il latte. Very much is molto. And this is a difference from the English language. You don't place very much at the end of the sentence, but just after the verb. Mi piace molto il latte. Okay? Perfect. If you have to say, I don't like something, in this case the milk, very much, you just need, as usual, to add non before the rest of the sentence. So, non mi piace molto il latte. Is it clear? Perfect. So, let's do a small exercise. Here, what you have to do is just to add a verb at the end of the sentence. Okay? That's all. One of the verbs we have done today, of course. So I will start within the sentences and I will leave you a few seconds to complete it. Okay? Let's start with the first one. Mi piace. Non mi piace. As usual, if you need more time, just pause the video. Okay? And the third one, mi piace molto. Okay, great. So how was it? I'll show you a few examples. Mi piace camminare. I like walking. Non mi piace sudare. I don't like to sweat. Mi piace molto ballare. I like dancing very much. Okay? Great. Perfect. So let's move on. Today we're talking about conjugation. So what is the verb conjugation? Basically, it's the declination of the verb according to the subject pronoun. In practical terms, it's actually the verbs that you use while you're talking. I do, we make, they play. Here it is. So let's start from the beginning. In Italian, there are 3 kinds of verbs. First group, the verbs that end with are, A-R-E, okay? Second group is made of the verbs that end with ere, E-R-E in English. Third and final group, the verbs that end with ire, I-R-E in English, okay? And their conjugation is a little bit different. So let's start looking at the desinences of the verbs of the first group. So the verbs that end with are. To conjugate a verb, you need to take the verb root. So it's the part of the verb without the last part. The last part in Italian is are, ere, ire. So you take the first part of the verb and you simply attach the desinences. So you see here, for example, for io, the desinence is o. I'm pronouncing the desinences in Italian, okay? For you, tu, in Italian, the desinence is I. For lui, lei, he, she, the desinence is a. For we, noi, in Italian, the desinence is iamo. For you, voi, the desinence is ate. And finally, for they, essi, the desinence is ano. I know it seems complicated right now, but let's see some practical examples. For example, camminare. Camminare is a regular verb. So first of all, what you have to do is to take the verb root. So the part of the verb, in this case, without are. So the verb root is cammin. Okay? And then you just need to add the desinences. So repeat right after me. Io cammino. Tu cammini. Lui, lei cammina. Noi camminiamo. Voi camminate. Essi camminano. Which are the accent here? Camminano. Okay? And that's super regular. Okay? Let's do another example. Saltare, to jump, is regular as well. So the verb root is the part of the verb without are. So salt. And then you add the desinences. Io salto. Tu salti. Lui, lei salta. Noi saltiamo. Voi saltate. Essi saltano. Is it clear? Perfect. Very good. Then we have andare. Andare, as in English, is an irregular verb. So even though the verb root should be and, the first conjugation is io vado. So it's completely different. Okay? Io vado. Tu vai. Lui, lei va. Then it becomes a little bit regular. Noi andiamo. Voi andate. Essi vanno. So it becomes irregular once again. With these verbs, the only thing you can do is to learn them by heart, as in all languages. Fare, to do, is another irregular verb. Okay? So let's start its conjugation. Io faccio. Tu fai. Lui, lei fa. Noi facciamo. Voi fate. Essi fanno. Is it clear? Perfect. So now let's see the second group. So the verbs that end with ere. Okay? As you might notice, there are some tiny differences for the desinences. Okay? For example, lui, lei, the desinence is now e in Italian, so I in English. Okay? And for example, you all, the desinence is ete. Or for they, the desinence is ono. Okay? Let's see a practical example. Correre. Correre is a regular verb. So you take the verb root, so cor, with double R, and you start the conjugation. Io corro, tu corri, lui, lei corre, noi corriamo, voi correte, essi corrono. Perfect. Very good. And then we have the final group, so the verbs that end with ire. Once again, here you can just find a very tiny difference for you all. It's the desinence is ite. Okay? Perfect. So let's do a practical example. Aprire, to open, a regular verb. So the verb root is apr. Okay? So the part of the verb without ire. Io apro, tu apri, lui, lei apre, noi apriamo, voi aprite, essi aprono. Perfect. Very good. That's how it is. So for the regular verb, it's pretty easy. For the irregular ones, the only thing you can do is literally like to learn them. Okay? Very good. So before ending this intense lesson, let's review all the verbs we have done today. As usual, please repeat right after me. Exercise, esercizio. We haven't specifically done this verb, but you always see it when we're doing some exercise, okay? As a title. Camminare, saltare, fare esercizio, to do exercise, nuotare, andare in bicicletta, or andare in bici, giocare, sudare, correre, aprire. Mi piace, non mi piace. Mi piace molto, non mi piace molto. Okay, great. Complimenti, congratulations. You have just finished this intense lesson 8. And I'm very proud of your progress. We're gonna keep on working on the verbs, so don't worry about that. Have a great day, and thank you for being with me. Ciao.